Hey, what up, y'all? This is Dooley Harris Present. I'm doing a special episode on a special day. Um, we're gonna be touching bases on things, on our opinions about not only the Diddy situation, the situation as a whole of people being uh, caught up in some type of, I don't know, fraternity or something like that. Like I don't know how to explain it to where there's wealthy people and all these illegal acts going on, and I mean, y'all might disagree, but I think like people of influence with a lot of money and power, they think sometimes they're above the law. But at the same time, also, I mean, like sometimes you might get into something too deep over your head. I'm here with the unanimous guest. We're gonna call Ghost. What's your take on the whole situation and scandal going on right now?
There's more of it going on. There's more of it happening. He just got caught up in whatever way, or he's the downfall of whatever scandal got exposed. And you know what I'm saying? But that's that. I mean, that's not where it ends. You know, and like I was saying in the conversation earlier, it's just the affiliation. It's what comes along with the affiliation. And that's why who you connected with and the things that you stand for are important. You know,
Well,
you
yeah,
stand alone or if you stand with a group of people.
and that's a good point because I try to stand alone in my platform and associations because what they did was they backtracked. Now, so anybody else's wrongdoing is tied to you after
Right.
the fact, and it makes it 10 times worse if you're caught up in something that they're doing or done, or you're both tied together. That's a bigger. That's it's harder for you to just be dismissive about what happened.
Right. Now let's not forget all this shit was being exposed prior to the Diddy exposure about the child trafficking, the human trafficking, all of these different things. You know what I'm saying? All that shit was coming to surface. So Diddy is like the downfall of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, you got Oprah Winfrey affiliated with shit. You got people in seats of presidency that have been affiliated with the shit. Most all of the music artists that we know that were good at what they did were affiliated with the shit. R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? Or like it goes back to history. History of a lot of shit.
And honestly, if you're an advocate, it never went anywhere because there's people I know advocates that push the human trafficking thing, all that, the child trap, push that daily. Now, going forward, like some people are not on social media, some people they say they're not on social media, but at the same time, I mean, it has its benefits. What I'm saying is, I mean, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. In which I'm thinking about all of this stuff and why it's happening. And the reason it's happening is because there's bigger stuff happening. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
to wake us up. It's to wake us up to the fact that what we think is important is far from it. You know what I'm saying? It's not important at all. We got to refocus. We
Absolutely.
have to refocus because this man, yeah, he probably did all that stuff. Shame on him. He gonna have to deal with that shit at the end of, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. Shame on him. But he not the only motherfucker out there doing it. And it's again to play a status. When they say you sign your soul over to the devil, that's what the fuck they mean. That's why you have mainstream artists and that's why you have underground artists. The underground artists, they not with that shit. They wasn't with it. They wasn't committed to getting fucked in the ass to be associated with this type of affiliation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna throw no names out there, but that's what it is.
I've been doing some research and everything, and then actually I went to the file. I think everything's there if you're looking in the right direction. And some stuff I just heard and seen, and I don't know. It's hard, especially with this AI generation, and then especially going on with this internet detective stuff. Now, I validate some internet detectives, especially when you're there on the scene, giving your point of view, if you're there, or you know what I'm saying, like something like that. But as far as not doing research and not actually seeing or understanding what's actually going on, you can say anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but there is a thing.
I mean, look at it. There's a trend now. For me and my generation, there has been a trend of shit happening. I remember being in the living room with my family and my folks, everybody crowded around the motherfucking TV, looking at the R. Kelly trial. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what the fuck was and what the fuck wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And then it was, you know, just other shit here and there within the family too. You know, sexual molestation and all of that shit. Like, so that shit is real. All of that shit is real.
You brought up a great point. You know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's an absolutely great point. Me personally, my poor little self, if I know about this and things that happen and go on and stuff, imagine what scale it would be to somebody highly successful.
Correct. I mean, because you know, I'm just saying.
Because go ahead. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying like to even speak on generational curses and stuff like that. You familiar with that? I know you are.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way it continues. It's, you know, when people have sex and shit like that, it's more than just more than just an act. It's a soul tie. It's a inferior, superior. It's a, what you call it, alpha and
alpha,
you know what
omega.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a dominating thing. You know, it could be depending on how.
No, it can be. It should be a yin and a yang. You know, a balance to it. But no, you're throwing some bleach into the water when all that other stuff happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the water might be pure, but the water might be clean, but it's not pure. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, how about I just say this? Because, you know, like, I like to get to the basics. You know what I mean? And I understand energy is everything.
Absolutely.
So I don't like to give a lot of negative shit a whole bunch of energy.
Absolutely.
So, like, to boil this shit all down, in order to understand something, you have to have had some type of experience with it, right? So
truly understand, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So the whole Diddy situation, for him to master something like being able to human traffic and, you know, have all these kids or whatever the allegations are against him, right? For him to be able to do that, he had to experience that in some sort of way. And with that being said, he was taught that shit.
Or they like to use the term groomed.
Yeah, he was groomed. That shit was passed on down to him. And if you look in the schemes of the mainstream artists in the rap industry, in the music industry, period, when they say you selling your soul to the devil, that's what you're doing. Nicki Minaj, she was just talking about fucking girls in their face, dominating them. Why would you want to do that? To have people follow you in your program, you know what I'm saying, to make more money. It's a capitalism type of thing, man.
Absolutely. And then when you have followers, when you have like a lot of followers, your opinion may sway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you might be wrong at something, but you have followers. They're gonna go with whatever you rock with. So of course you got to be right. And you know, at the end of the day, like,
and they always say it in their songs. They think they know the way. They don't know the way. They following somebody else's program. This was the program of the government. Number one, to control the money flow. You know what I'm saying? Number two, to make sure they got the right influence on the people. Make sure they doing what they need them to do to be distracted. So they're not really paying attention to this shit over here that I'm implementing into the fucking world and their lives. That's going to affect them on, later on down the line. They're not going to even realize it until it hits them in the ass or smacks them in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing about media. And it's sad because our kids, and when I say our kids, I'm talking about our community, not specifically you and mine.
Yeah.
But kids in our community are kids. They're failing because they're attracted to what's on mainstream. Mainstream is on the TV in front of them every day, in the car, on the radio, every day, playing over and over and over and over again. What's in their face and what they putting out, and they gotta approve this shit before they release it. They gotta approve it. They gotta approve it. It means they approve for this bullshit to be broadcasted across our radio waves and our TVs for these kids to be trained in such a way to want to make their goals to have fucking gold chains and whatever it is.
Well, I mean, I'll agree with you to the point to where I'll give an example. I haven't watched TV in years. The last time I watched TV, the things I watched that were supposed to be wholesome were so non-wholesome, and was okay because it was on public access. It was public knowledge, public radio, public TV. It's okay, but coming from our era, that was unacceptable. And then the thing is, they make it catchy or they make it funny to make it okay. It's not okay. With that being said, I mean, honestly, I think like everything we see and watch now, we should have saw coming. I mean, I'm going back. I did my research. My research went back to like way back when pop stars first being pop stars, like and
right.
there were heads of people that were over certain things and certain people that were powerful. That actually it was okay. This is what we do. And I'll say this, and I mean it. You'll live long enough. Everybody lives or be around long enough to be the bad guy. And it happens when you do something that's not ordained and it's not okay, but it got you by. I mean, certain things would I do? Hell no. I would starve or steal more so than do certain things that would harm others.
Right.
So with that being said, like some people actually, they get a rise out of certain things like that. Oh, it's drama. Oh, it's this. It's that. Even without that scandal going on, there's so many other things that we need to be concerned about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain things like from simple as our diets and stuff like that. So when we're distracted, we're literally distracted.
Yep. The fact that we really are running out of food. Like they try to make it seem like we're running out of toilet paper and milk and shit, but we really running out of food.
A telltale sign is the price going up. That's a telltale sign.
Right. Yep. And the fact that we have shit happening like cargo ships running into fucking bridges and shit.
And like things like that. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's another part of my research. It's not, it's an interpolation of what I viewed is, I mean, I paid attention to the videos and stuff like that. Anyone who knows what a cyber attack is knows that a big vessel, airplane, or anything can potentially lose power.
Right.
So if something loses
Right.
power, definitely a catastrophe will happen. Not say can, well, I'll say can and will happen. And the irony is, like, there's a lot of vessels out here losing power, hitting bridges. And I will also say this: China issued a warning to its citizens that are in the U.S. that be careful because a lot of unlikely things will be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're in a trade embargo and everything with China and this and that, this had to have been brewing. But this is only my point of view. I'm not trying to bestow my beliefs and and what I'm saying on anybody else. But if I see it and it looks like a duck, I'm gonna call it a duck. Now, if I lose my channel because I speak my opinion, there's freedom of speech. There's not freedom of consequences. So, I mean, I have my hard drive, I have my flash drive, and everything ready, and I'm pretty sure there's more lenient platforms I can head towards to. But
I'm just saying though.
Well, I'm speaking on my end to the point to where I'm like, it is what it is at this point. I mean, I'll put that all in the description of the video. So I mean,
you know what? Shout out to all the families and victims of that tragedy in the first place. I don't want to be insensitive to the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel for y'all. I'm sorry that happened.
And then you gotta,
like, I mean, I'm speaking on a side from, like, looking at it from the person who's operating the fucking cargo ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, were all protocols followed? You know what I'm saying? Were all procedures followed? Because
absolutely they were. That's what lets you know that it was something different.
Maybe not though.
Well, they have laws. Someone is going to be held accountable for it, and there's no answer yet.
They lost power, but in my mind, you'll still be able to steer away from danger. That's the last defense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the thing is, with a cargo ship, I can't say, but the video clearly shows it losing power twice. There was a brownout, then there was a total blackout. But before the brownout, oh shit, you got a good point. They were still already close to the bridge anyway. We'll find out.
It's about will we find out though? That's a big. And then you got Biden talking about they're gonna he's gonna pay for it out of government funds and shit. Like, what does that mean? More inflation?
Yeah, that means the government is more concerned with sweeping shit under the rug than our own safety and concerns. And that's just my opinion.
I'm fed up with it. I don't know how many people out there are fed up with it, but I'm fed up with it. I don't know what I can really do about it. But one thing I do know I can control is the way I live my life and the way I govern myself. And I refuse to live in a world of lies. I want to live in the truth. And I think that's what God meant for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Living in the truth. It's like, don't let them deceive you. Don't be deceived.
You said there will be many false prophets. I mean, hey.
Many. Like, if I can remember, there's been many.
I mean, I'm gonna go back to even Jim Jones. They drank the punch. Most deceitful people, they have a very great way of getting people to follow them. Yes. And I'll say this: Hitler was a great speaker. How great do you have to be? You know what I'm saying?
That's why they killed the man. That's however it happened. You know what I mean? Like, that's why he's not here no more. Excuse me. That's why he left. That's why he left early. You know what I mean? Like, maybe before his time.
Well, no, it
The
was his
greatest
time.
people.
Trust me.
Hitler was warning us of what was to come. He was like, that man, like, there's a book out there, and it's really banned, but it's still out there, and it's worse than banned. And it's talking about what Hitler really stood for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got us all fucked up. That's what I'm saying. They took out the truth. Even the most important books in the Bible, man, they took them out the Bible.
There's a lot of books out of the Bible that are kept in the Vatican, like, you know, certain chapters and everything. From my understanding, the Bible is well choreographed.
Our people need to wake up. People need to wake up. Even that shit, like, okay, people just need to wake up, because at the end of the day, if we don't wake up, our children, their children, our legacies will be in void, because everything that we did, everything that we worked for is going to the fucking owner of whoever you came from. Because that's what the fuck is all. That's what this is all about. There's a couple different banks out there. Y'all do y'all research. Come on, I challenge you to do such. There's a couple different banks out there. They own everything. Okay.
And then we can talk about it. I did my research, and then I mean, it took me back to the World Banks. So the little trees, the branches.
But why they call them the World Banks though?
Exactly.
You just said it. You know. Come on, Dooley. I speak like, when I think. First of all, I think for like a first grader, because most of these motherfuckers out here, that's how they think anyway. That's the level that they're on. So I like to relate to motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And so that's what it is. World Banks. You just said it. How come they get the status of World Banks? Why?
Because whatever they did to pull, or however they got in position, they have control over the dollar value amount, and how it's distributed.
And currently, presently speaking, to this day. And it's not just about the currency and the dollar. It's about human trafficking. It's about, all of that shit that get caught up in the media. It's about all of that shit. All of those things are factors. Understand what I'm saying? To the success of this country.
I want to say this. I've been dealing with the court system about a tenant issue or whatever, but I sat in court, and I sat there for a purpose of understanding and learning. Wells Fargo had a representative for every single case that came before the judge.
You fucking right, they do. It's a lawyer designated for each bank. Like, and they go. That's all they do is go to court. Okay, what's this case? All right, cool. And that's all they do.
And it's so smooth. They go back and forth. Oh, this, that, this, and that. Some are even chummy with the judge. Like, they know what it is, things like that. My thing is, though, like, as a people, I feel like this. This is my term of saying, stay out their face, stay out them people's face. Making sure you don't have no dealings with them, and make sure you do not, obligational contracts with them or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, anything can happen. Your shit still do. It's nothing like owning your home and actually dealing with things on your home and learning that way, and not being like set up for anything. And also read the fine line.
Read the fine line. Read that fine print. Because that fine print will save you a whole lot of heartache.
Everything. Whole bunch of heartache, whole bunch of money, whole bunch of friends. You know what I'm saying? Whole bunch of property, all of that.
But what I've learned too, though, is right now it's not a season to try to get over on people. Like, businesses try to get over on people. They got that fine print for a reason. But it's not that season. Right now it's the season of having mercy for people. It's trying to understand what somebody is going through. And if you can't understand, then just have some sort of compassion. Because this season right here is the make or break time.
I swear.
You gotta be woke. And that woke shit, like people take it lightly or they, make fun of it or whatever. But that is a term used to say that you understand what the fuck is going on around you. And how your life is and also how your life is going to be dictated in the future. You gotta understand that.
And I agree. And I try to push this on people like my tenants and stuff like that. Like, I'm understanding, but everybody else not gonna be. So would you rather work with me or just go all out and then let them dictate what's gonna happen to you?
But what I learned to do is I learned to consult with my guide. You know what I mean? Because I got staff that just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just they can't follow the rules. They can't meet the expectations of what the job is asking or requiring. And it's like, you don't want to put somebody out there to struggle more than what they are already struggling. It's like you want to help them, but at the same time, they got to be able to help themselves or want to help themselves.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I consult with God when in these situations, and I'm telling you, I come into them, and what I speak and what happens is just like it's an out of body experience, because it's not me developing these words to say to these people. You know what I mean? It's God giving me these words and this advice and this wisdom and this knowledge too, because now I know how to handle the situation next time.
And actually, and you know what? You're absolutely correct. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I have to say this. You explained it to a T. It's not me. It's God telling me to do this. I could be cutthroat just like you are. But, not saying you per se. I'm saying like anybody that I'm trying to look out for and pay attention to and make sure I'm in the right step and everything, because we all can profit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all can profit together.
Mm-hmm. Right. We can grow. You know what I'm saying? But we got to do it the right way.
Right way.
And you got to understand that, sometimes business is business. But it's also a way to make sure that you're not enabling a person. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody can have a habit or somebody can have some sort of way about themselves that is just hindering them of getting to wherever they're trying to get to. Amen. Or wherever they need to be at. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So like, and sometimes we like, and as humans, we have that like natural thing about us. We just, some of us,
Yeah, I was just going to say some people, but I'm following you. Go ahead.
Some of us, but like we have that natural thing about us that it just makes us want to help, like, oh, well, what's making your day bad? Okay, well, I think I can help you out. What's wrong? You know what I mean? Like, and you try to figure it out and then you try to make their day better. But in all reality, you're making the situation worse because they didn't learn the lesson that they were supposed to learn. Like they just got the happy go me and waved across it, and they didn't feel the pain, they didn't feel the struggle, they didn't have to be strengthened. They were weak the whole time, for real, if you think about it, because they were in a sense of relaxation. They didn't learn anything.
Absolutely. Anything can happen at any time. Yeah.
Right. But you don't want to play that middle person. It's really hard. It really is hard, because you find yourself in situations where you like, damn, well, what the fuck are they gonna do? It's cold outside. What are they gonna do? How they gonna eat? How you gonna cook? Because you ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? However the case may be.
The thing is, once you lie and be conniving and manipulative and to the point to where I see it, I'm like, well, I mean, honestly, I gotta do what law allows me to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, because only only because, again, like I said, this season right here is a season for mercy, right? A season for trying to understand, not being judgmental and just being curious. Like, you know, not being judgmental and being curious. Just like I said, well, why are you like this way? Why are you this way? You know what I mean? Like, what's up? Because at the end of the day, you're never going to get anywhere being this way. Like, it's not going to work. Nobody's going to be as lenient as I am. Like you said, like you mentioned, why are you this way? And if you can't do anything from that point, then hey, in God's hands it is. Which, that's what I was getting ready to say. It's like, once you take your touch off of it, your finger off of it, things will start working out and things will start rolling. And you'll see how you were hindering a person from getting to that lesson that they were supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? Because you put it in God's hand, now you take your finger off, and now look at here. Well, it is cold outside, but such and such had a friend to go stay with. You know what I mean? This friend had enough mercy for this friend and allowed them to come stay with them. Oh, well, guess what? This friend knows somebody who got a place that's for rent. It might not be the best, but, you know, it's okay for you to be able to get on your feet or something. You know what I'm saying? Because people got to learn. That's what we got to understand. It's like we probably had jumped a whole bunch of steps, you know what I'm saying, in life, and didn't have to take those minor steps to be able to learn a certain lesson and be able to survive. And really what I'm trying to say is, you know what I'm saying, it's about the survival thing. People didn't have to take that big jump like we, you know, some people did that had the, you know, luxury of doing or whatever. Some people got to take those baby steps, tiny steps, and they need mercy because they don't really understand. Like, their mind cannot comprehend what it really takes to be able to live in this world, because it seems unreachable in the first place, because the cost of living is too fucking high for anybody to be out here trying to live. So everybody is in survival mode. So yeah, you're fucking right. Especially if I gotta live, I'm gonna come up with any excuse, whatever I can come up with, no matter what level of thinking, what kind, you know, what level of mind frame my mind is in. I'm gonna come up with an excuse to try to buy some more time so that I can live with something over my head. You know what I mean? Because that's the time that we're in.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna let you continue speaking, but you're touching my soul right now. Go ahead. Go on. I'm sorry.
But that's what it's about right now, because look what's going on. The economy is fucked up, Dooley. It's fucked up.
I know
people
it is.
Are like, I know, and like the same thing, like with my staff, it's like, come on, guys. This is all I'm requiring of y'all to do on each shift. That's it. This is it. And the fact that we can't get it right, there's something going on outside of the job. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on outside of the job, whether it be where you're living, you know, how you're eating, how you getting to work, how you getting back home, however it goes. Maybe something more. People got stuff going on in their lives. And the fact that the government is not making it easy for you to even live, that's a big problem. That's like the biggest problem right there.
Absolutely. And you're touching something. You're speaking to me right now, which is crazy. Or which it's not crazy, but you're speaking to me right now. And every aspect, every avenue I touched in, and that was my whole thought process.
We just got to be humble.
Absolutely.
Just got to be humble. A lot of people, you know what? This is reward season too. It's springtime. Everything that everybody planted and harvested, took care of over these past couple of months, 6 months, whatever, however it goes, you know, those things are getting ready to sprout, whether it be good or bad. And with that being said, I like to acknowledge the good, because the bad, that shit can fall off for me. You know what I mean? And everybody else in that fact, because that's just who I am. Like, we all deserve good. But the fact that it is springtime, things are getting ready to blossom, which means it's delegation time, it's selection time, it's advancement time. You know, it's all of these elevating times that you got to grasp on too, And you got to make sure that you fit the description of the position, you know? So, and being humble is a part of that because that's the season that we're in. Our people don't need hardness and hard ass. They need somebody to talk to them and understand them. And, you know, and maybe you can't understand them, like I said, but not be judgmental and be curious. Still ask questions. I don't care if you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Still ask questions. Because asking questions means that you're engaged with this person. You actually listening because you asking questions. That's the thing that people get fucked up on. They get, and I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about
no.
You know, just some people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like some people get put in a position and they lose their fucking mind. You can't do that. You can't get power strong. You can't get $100,000 and think you the man, because $100,000 really ain't shit to the man.
You gotta learn how to keep it too.
And you gotta learn how to rotate the shit. You gotta keep it in circulation and make more. Why you got that in circulation? That's what this world is about. Capitalism, about making money off the money that you get. Keep making money. Keep making money. How can you make money off of this? If you buy it, how can you make money off of it? How can you make the life of it longer than what they expect it to be? So now they got technology. It's so much easier today than it was back then, because now all you got to do is ask AI, hey, chat box, AI, how much money do I need to save for me to have this amount of money, or what do I need to do to get this amount of money, whatever. And it's going to tell you, because that's the world we live in. It's so much easier. It makes you lazy too. But at the same time, it makes you lazy too. And then guess what? Here comes the next season. Now they need you to not be lazy no more. It's not time to be lazy no more. It's time to get up and work. So now when it's time to get up and work, guess what? They're going to drop off a whole other bunch of motherfuckers because they not ready to go work. They're not ready to not be lazy no more. They train you and then they want to retrain you, and then they train you and then they want to retrain you, like reprogram you. You got to be ready. That's why they say adaptation. That's why they taught you that shit and stuck that shit in your head. Adaptation. What can you do? You can get in a different environment and adapt to the way of that living. And humans are the best at it. And that's why they running this whole test on us right now. It's a fucking game to them. They want to see, oh, well, what kind of change can they really adapt to? Let's see. They tried dinosaurs and all of that shit. We overcame all of that shit. We probably came from that shit. We don't really know. They won't tell us the truth. You try to go back in history, they done washed out and washed it up so much, you really can't even understand. You know you came from this, or this. That's it.
Absolutely. And that's crazy because it's just plain and simple like that. But the mindset, you're talking about, like, people, okay, they have a scheming mindset, but you've laid on the floor. I'm truly humble. I'm truly humble in the fact that we can talk about this. I didn't have to take legal action. As long as I show you're actually trying, I'm not that guy.
But that's when you got to cut it off. I ain't saying you was a bad guy. I'm not saying you was a bad guy at all. But what I am saying is, you got some people out here that's being the bad guy, that's being straight assholes, like dickheads, them kind of landlords. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about nothing but they money. That's it.
No,
but you can't be like that in this day.
You can't because I have to worry about insurance, all the, everything outside of cosmetics, everything. I have to worry about that.
At the same time too, though, I would want to make sure that my tenants was doing the right thing, though. They had good hygiene. Like, they was doing good daily housekeeping on themselves, though, because I see motherfuckers out here doing shit that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Out here getting bundles of hair put in your head, and you ain't got shit to show for nothing. Not for you, not for your kids, not for nothing. That shit don't make no sense. I understand the hair industry is booming. It's booming because y'all making it boom. That's why. But that shit is not important. Let me see y'all in investment classes, learn about economics and shit like that. You know, the
financial
lower level
literacy.
shit of that. Financial literacy, you know, even setting a fucking goal and achieving it. Because a lot of people is lost. And I ain't saying that to talk down on nobody or nothing like that. I'm saying that because I am aware of what's going on. I see what's going on. I see the differences. I see the challenges and I see how we can overcome it too. But you got to just be able to wake up. I can't just do it with me and Dooley and the 15, 25 other people that we got on here. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be us. It got to be a whole bunch of us.
Collectively
in
doing
massive
it.
amount of numbers.
Exactly.
Yes, actively doing it. You know what I mean? I understand getting with the program, you know, for the moment to try to make it and stuff like that. But at the same time, you got to understand that, you know, getting with the program is just to get you by, to get to where you're trying to get. Because that's the only thing this shit is set up for, is for you to be able to use it as a fucking ladder.
And that makes perfect sense. But people, I hope people watch this and see that, though.
And you know what? It's going to be one day that people get on here and they're going to see, like, you know what? These people are genuine. They really know, you know, they really know something, and they really care about us, and they really, like, I want to tell y'all about this too. And I don't even know what we can do about it. But the shit makes sense to me.
Run it by me.
Why every fucking famous billionaire, millionaire, somebody with money, like big money, got a bunker? Underground living quarters.
I spoke on this a couple of months ago.
Like, and it's just making more sense to me because I feel like I already know, like in every fucking paper I've written in the medical field, and them asking me to speak about technology and making medical records over to, you know, all this electronic records and shit. I'm always against the shit because I'm like, it'll fuck somebody's health up so much because the electricity is going to go out, and that means we lose all of the data unless we got some fantastic system to back everything up, which, man, yeah, right. Motherfuckers who need healthcare, they're going to be so behind because they're going to have to be worked up all the way from the fucking start. And that's going to kill off a whole nother generation. Like, there's a plan to all of this shit. Technology is good, but at the same time, once the electricity goes out, which is going to happen, because look at what they're doing.
And I spoke on that too. Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what's happening. You don't.
It just makes me sick, though. It makes me sick because, like, I know it, you know it, like a couple other motherfuckers that we know probably know it too. But what the fuck do we do? Like, where do we start? I guess we gotta all get together and come up with a plan to create a bunker and just make sure that we could get to it safely. You know what I mean? Like,
you're laughing right now. I have someone dearly I love. They started this podcast with me. That's their expertise. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
that is something that, like, okay, I'm glad that everything is happening for a reason. My goodness, everything bad happened. Okay, it happened, but everything is happening for a reason right now.
Yeah. So, with your tenants, because they've been stressing you out. I've been hearing it. Like,
you don't know. You know what? Like, you know it better than anybody.
They've been stressing you out. But listen. So maybe you can offer them something a little more affordable. Be like, you know what? I ain't trying to put you out there on the streets, whatever. You know, I want to do an inspection on my property right now, or, you know, at a later date. And if everything passes, then maybe I can move you to this property because this may be a little bit more affordable for you. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we have to talk offline because I exhausted all of my avenues of help.
Okay.
So we have to talk offline about this.
That's fine. Yeah, but it gets to that point too, and I want to say it publicly too because somebody else may be going through the same thing. You know what I mean? So publicly, what I would like to say is, if you exhausted everything that you could do, you did everything you could do, then give it to God. Give it to your
And
creator.
I did, and that's the best thing you hearing you say it. Well, you're the only person that said it though, but it makes sense to me. If that makes sense. But
yeah, because at that point, then you already know you operating in what his doing is. If you being obedient and you disciplined enough to be able to listen and follow, you know.
And that's actually honestly all I've been doing. Like I've been doing stuff against the grain to help people.
Yeah, I want to say shout out to everybody doing self-care work though. Like you really trying to get in tune with yourself. Like I don't know why that just made me, I just wanted to say that, but yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's doing that work. Like trying to understand why you are the way you are, and trying to fix it and not blame nobody else for that. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get some clarity on that. Yeah, I love y'all, whoever that is.
No. Also, let me interject too, because there's a reason why we're doing this podcast right now.
Right.
And there's a word I'm going to say is Black people's mental health. And when you get that, comment your Cash App. It's a free gas giveaway.
Free gas giveaway. What we doing, Dooley? $50? $50 tonight. Tonight, $50. All you gotta chat is
if they can say comment on that. Yes, most definitely, no problem.
Yep. Comment on mental health. We got $50 gas cards going away. Yep. Look,
and I send straight to you.
Yeah, straight to your Cash App.
Yeah.
Mental health is really important, y'all. For real. If your mind ain't right, nothing else ain't right. And you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta keep your mind right. You gotta stay steady up there so everything else follows.
Absolutely.
And it really don't even matter. If your feelings hurt, let them be hurt. Brush it off. Keep going. It's cool. It's just words. Ain't nobody physically harmed. You know what I mean? Like just keep going.
Hey, and I'm sorry, I have to ask this question because I work with so many hard-caring family men. I'm a family man myself, but I work with so many of them, and I asked them all a question separately, and it was like, when a man is upset, when a man is hurt, what can he turn to? Can he show he upset? Can he show he hurt?
See, this is what I stand on. Okay.
I'm listening.
Everybody can show their feelings because we human. A gender don't mean a motherfucking thing when it comes to feelings. Everybody got feelings. You know what I'm saying? So feel that shit. Feel it, go through it, however it is. But me, I'm not a person to sit and swaddle in my shit. You know what I'm saying? So whoever is affiliated with me, I don't expect you to be such either. Because we got shit to do the next day. It's gonna be new shit that come your way. And whether you know it or not. You know what I'm saying? If you operate like me, you operate in a way that you out here to attract what's supposed to be yours. You know what I'm saying? And so if you out here doing that, then you know what I'm saying, then shit, you gotta be on your pivot at all times.
Absolutely. So it's okay for a man to feel.
Absolutely, because you human. But it's not okay for you to sit and swaddle in that shit. That's what's not okay.
No, not swaddle, not like wallow, swallow, like it's just you have to keep going. No matter what happens to you, you have to keep going.
Yeah. Now I ain't saying like, okay, you go to work and then you come home and then you swaddling your shit. Okay, that's cool because you handled your business. You know what I'm saying? You didn't let that shit overtake you. You stood up to that shit. That's what's not attractive, at least to me. It's not attractive to me when a man, he let the shit overcome him. Like, everything is falling. Now you late to work. Now the work is on the line. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go through shit, but you got to get through shit, but go through shit at the same time and still be able to live. That's the biggest thing I learned with losing my son. Like, that's the biggest thing I learned because when I lost him, guess what? My baby still woke up the next fucking morning. Even actually, after he passed away, my baby still was saying, "Mommy, we hungry. Can we get something to eat?" I still had to function. I still had to function.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
And they had been outside playing because I was trying to distract them from what the fuck was going on, right? So I still had to wash them. I still had to do all of that shit, even with my heart broken and breaking in the senses. So I don't expect a motherfucker to sit and swallow and shit. And that's heartfelt. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm telling y'all, it gets better. You gotta fight through it.
It was just a question, though, because, I mean, men fight through that, though. You know, we're taught and through society, you got to be the strong one. You got to do this. You got to be up. But at the same time, we are not robots.
Y'all not robots, and whoever expecting y'all to be robots, that's not your match. You got to find your match, too. You got to find when I say match, I'm not just talking about in intimate relationships. I'm talking about in relationships, period.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You know, period. Because even with being a boss and being a landlord and shit like that, you got to understand your stance. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to release what the fuck you're going through, especially in this world. Especially in this world that we're living in today. Because there's so much tension, there's so much pressure already. There's so much pressure to be able to just live here when really we should be living free. There's so much tension.
Yeah,
much pressure.
That's true. That's very true.
We paying a debt that's not even our debt. We gotta have all these insurance policies for what?
Technically, it's just in case.
Insured. Then we've already been insured.
You're right.
If anything, our slave owners should be held accountable for the damage that's done to us because they purchased us, correct?
Oh, segue to another topic. Reparations won't come this way.
Correct. They should be held accountable. Those banks should be held accountable because that's who the slave owners are indebted to. Which are the people that are, you said earlier, the world banks. Those are the people that own us. Because our slave owners were indebted to them. So they should really be held. They should.
I mean, you actually not showed me, not only me, but you told the way around it.
Look.
That way we're all accountable for our own.
God told us it's one thing, and I ain't gonna say just one thing, but it's one major thing that always sticks with me when I make any decision that I make. When I do anything, everything, I'm always thinking about God saying He created me in His likeliness.
Mm-hmm.
And I create my own reality.
You have to. And without being delusional.
So with that being said, it's like the bad that I may have to do to be able to survive or whatever you were saying earlier, it's like that don't make me a bad person. That don't make me like indebted to the devil. No, because God said He forgives me for my sins. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But you can't be reckless. Don't be reckless though.
No. Yeah. You're saying everything I want to say right now.
You know, you can't be reckless though. You can't be like robbing motherfuckers for $30,000. It's a limit. There's a limit actually that they'll start taking you to court for. There's a limit that you can get to. That'll be okay.
I know all those courts. I know all those courts.
Listen. Just hover these fucking lines. Hover this level. Don't go over this. Because once you go over this, it's gonna be some legal action. We're gonna give you some warnings, you know, but it's about it's about taking risks too. You gotta be able to take a risk. business is about taking risks.
Oh my God. Okay, keep talking, keep going.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, business is about taking risks. You know, sometimes it's a gamble. You don't really know. You got a lot of competition out here. It's not like you came up with a brilliant idea and it's not the same shit out here. No, it's the fact that you came up with a brilliant idea and now you're trying to market your shit in a different way, hopefully to be different so that you can get a different, you know, audience and get that customer ranking. But
yeah, man, you know what you're saying.
You gotta, like, we seen that shit in Good Burger. Look at Good Burger.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 chicken companies, right? No, burger companies or something. I can't remember. My kids watched that shit to death.
No, burgers and orange soda. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had the burgers and like they put in different seasoning or some sort of mixture or some shit to make them come to each establishment, right? That made me think about McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and all the chicken spots too, because they got a movie about chicken too, where they was putting some sort of seasoned sprinkle on it to make people come to it, and you know, it was just doing crazy shit. I think that movie was called dang, it's not gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me.
So many. It's so many you can watch. Like Super Size
it
Me.
Was one.
Like
it was one recently though. Like the dude had got killed. Like he got killed in front of himself. It was a pimp, a girl. Dang, what was the name of this movie? It was a pimp. It was a girl. It was a girl. It was a dude. They had an old school car. Like they was driving around. Dude got
Hustle
killed.
and Flow. Come on now.
No. It was more recent than that, Dooley. And long story short, they was going to this chicken spot and they realized like when they ate the chicken.
The Trap.
Nope.
It's called The Trap. You sure? Nope. It was recent?
Yep, nope. It was recent. It was more,
they put something in that chicken and the motherfucker was going to that motherfucker going crazy.
But you see how many movies it is out there like that though. You keep naming these movies, but no. It was something, I don't know. Because it was so many different things going on in this movie. But anyway, I'm not going to keep going on about it. But yeah, they like, it's so much competition out here for a business just to stand on, like not being able to compete with each other. Like you got to know about that shit. Like you really got to stand on business when you're doing your business. So people who do that, like I really throw my hat off to you. Like, because it really takes you to be versatile and unique with doing such. And so even with being landlords and, you know, owners of businesses and whatever, like you got to be unique with keeping your staff and keeping them motivated to be able to come to work when they got shit going on at home.
Yeah, because you can't expect everybody to be motivated that way on their own sense, on their own terms. As an employer, you have to make it like, okay, we human here. You perform way, way better knowing that your boss knows what you're going through or knows what your possibility of what you could be going through.
Yep, exactly.
But you know what though? This is I want this to go on I want this to be a marathon. But I gotta get off here, upload this, and I gotta do to label it right too. I actually have to like, you know, make sure it's right. Because this is the best show I did all year. Let me know what you think.
I'll let you know. Everybody have a good night. Y'all be safe. And it was a good show as always.
Man, this was the best.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, it's been great. Tune in People's Podcast, Foolery Presents. Look at me on YouTube. I'm actually trying to just be for the people. You know, I don't want to be the people's champ. I just want to be for the people.